All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today, so let's get straight into it here. The first story I want to talk about here is the bodybuilder Morgan Aste. So Morgan, at 6'4" tall, posted a physique update recently claiming that his current body weight is about 371 pounds, or roughly 168 kgs, which, if that's true, I think that makes him the heaviest and biggest pro bodybuilder right now. He recently turned pro about a year or two ago, but I don't think even a bodybuilder like Big Ramy is getting past 350 in the offseason anymore. Now, Morgan did compete one time as a pro, and that was as recently as the 2020 Arnold Classic, where he placed second to last. So again, another example of size not being everything. And I would even argue it's not even a conditioning issue. I think Morgan was one of the better conditioned guys at the 2020 Arnold Classic. He actually did have pretty good conditioning for a guy of his size, but because he is so tall, it's a little bit harder for him to fill out that frame and for his structure to really look the way that he wants it to, or the way that the judges want it to. But in the gym, in the off season, in pictures, he looks like Mr. Olympia. He looks gigantic. He looks bigger than any bodybuilder we've ever seen. But on stage, all that size doesn't really matter as much if it's not polished, it's not proportioned, and the structure isn't there. But again, to his credit, at the Arnold Classic, I actually was impressed by his conditioning, but he still ended up placing well outside of the top 10. But also, the point that I'm trying to make with that is the fact that, oftentimes you say bigger guys can't come in condition when they have these crazy weights like 350 plus, but the fact that he's 371 and also comes into competitions in shape, I think is impressive. It's not like he just comes in looking terrible. He was pretty ripped at the Arnold, and for 371, he'll probably be pretty ripped whenever he decides to compete next. So shout out to Morgan. Now, next up in the news here, this is a story I'm pretty excited about. So Evan Centopani was originally scheduling his return to pro bodybuilding for the New York Pro back when it was originally scheduled to be in May. And Evan's been gone for a while, several years now, because of those injuries that he had. I believe they were leg injuries. And many bodybuilding fans have been anticipating the return of Evan Centopani, and I was kind of wondering about this because the New York Pro was postponed until September from May, about whether or not we would still see Evan attempt a comeback. But Evan posted what appears to be a recent physique update in a recent photo shoot that he's doing. And the reason why you know it's recent is because Evan does a really good job on his Instagram. If you look through his photos, whenever he posts a throwback, he makes sure that he says in the caption that it is a throwback and when it's from. This picture, he doesn't have that. So it appears this is a recent picture and a recent photo shoot that he's doing. And if that's the case, I think we're probably still going to see him compete in the New York Pro just based on the shape that it looks like he's in. He's got to be getting ready for a show. And right now he would be about 2 weeks out from the 2020 New York Pro, which is going to be the first weekend of September, which, as you guys know, has now been moved to Tampa, Florida, so it's not going to be in New York. But I am excited, man. Evan is one of my favorite bodybuilders. I can remember all the magazine spreads that he was in when he was with Animal doing those crazy black and white Animal photo shoots. And a lot of you guys are excited as well. Most of you guys that sent me this picture were excited because it presented the possibility that we're still going to get to see Evan on stage in 2020, which is what I'm excited about. I love a good comeback story. And I just want to see Evan on stage again because I think he inspired a whole generation of bodybuilders just from that ad campaign, that ad run that he did back with Animal. I know a lot of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, and that was one of those photo shoots and some of those older pictures that inspired a lot of people back in the magazine days and even up through the digital era of bodybuilding media. Now, next up in the news, Iain Valliere. So a lot of you guys sent me this screenshot of Iain responding to a comment in his comment section where someone asked him if he's planning on competing at the New York Pro, which is where a lot of us wanted or expected to see him compete. And his response was maybe, maybe not, maybe Cali, maybe Chicago, maybe all of the above. And I definitely want to see Iain compete and redeem himself after the Tampa Pro. Obviously not the best showing from Iain in Tampa, but Iain right now has a really good potential point standing. He's in a really good position right now as far as an Olympia qualification if he doesn't win a show. So right now he's in a three-way tie for third place, and the top three get to go to the Olympia, the top three on points. So if he competes probably in all of the above. If he doesn't win one of those shows, he would probably earn enough points to secure a very secure spot in that top 3 point standings. He's already got 8 points. If he competed in all 3 of those shows, he would be in a really good position if he placed in all 3 of those shows. He wouldn't have to win them. And of course, I know every bodybuilder wants to get to the Mr. Olympia by winning a show and not necessarily only on points. But right now, I think Iain's idea would probably be the best idea to compete in all the shows, because those lineups are going to be tough based on who we've seen confirm entries so far. So if there's not a possibility of him winning a show, the points alone should be incentive to compete as often as possible. But anyway, I'm definitely wishing the best for Iain Valliere, and whatever show he chooses to do, I hope he gets what he wants out of it and he's able to redeem himself after the Tampa Pro showing. Now, speaking of monster bodybuilders like we talked about earlier, we got to talk about Michal Krizo again. Now, I've done a video on Michal before, but this particular video, he posted a recent physique update where he is just looking absolutely massive in this posing video, particularly his legs. One of the main criticisms that I've seen of Michal is his legs, because his upper body is so big to the point where it was disproportionately big to his lower body. Now, obviously, his upper body is still, it's insanely massive. But it looks like in this video and in the recent updates that he's posted, his legs are starting to catch up with that upper body size. Now, we should mention here that Michal Krizo is an IFBB Elite Pro bodybuilder, which is different than the IFBB Pro League that we talk about in most videos. That's the Olympia League, you could call it. Now, I'm not really sure if politically speaking there would be a way for Michal to somehow get into the IFBB Pro League after being in the Elite Pro, or if that's something that he would even want to do. But I would really love to see his physique on the Olympia stage next to some of the top IFBB Pro League guys, because I think he would compare pretty favorably with some of the top names in our Pro League. Now, the final story I want to talk about in today's video is Josh Lenartowicz. He posted a video on his Instagram page addressing the haters. Now, it's a pretty long video. It's about 8 minutes long, and he goes and talks about multiple different things. But essentially, he says there's a lot of people putting hate on his name right now. Honestly, I haven't seen any hate towards Josh Lenartowicz, so I don't know exactly who he's referencing here. But he talks a little bit about maybe his political stances and stances on masks and stuff like that. So maybe it's something related to that, because I've never seen or heard really anything negative about Josh Lenartowicz. In fact, I think he's always been like a really positive guy. I've never heard anyone say anything bad about him. As far as an ambassador for bodybuilding, I've always thought that he seemed like a really great guy, really nice guy. I've talked to him on a couple occasions. So I'm kind of sad to see a really nice guy like that get some hate for whatever political thing, whatever it is really that he's getting the hate directed at him for. But if you guys want to watch his whole video and try to get some understanding of it, go to his Instagram page and check it out. And that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed yet already. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And as always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out. Oh, wait. Actually, I want to add in one last thing. While I was editing this video, something came up. Here is a 110 kilogram strict curl up against the wall, which is 242 pounds, because I know you guys love your strict curl stories. I couldn't exclude this. 110 kgs, 242 pounds, which is only 3 kilograms away from the world record of 113 kgs, 249 pounds. What do you guys think about this right here? Is the record falling sometime soon, or what? Nick Strength and Power, signing out.